I like Warwick Avenue. It's a station on the Bakerloo line of the Underground, located in Zone 2. It's in the part of London known as Little Venice, due to the large number of canals here. Well, I say large number, it's more like 2. This is a wealthy and genteel residential part of London, largely developed in the 1840s. Warwick Avenue itself was properly laid out in the 1820s and was originally called Warwick Road. The Bakerloo line had opened in March 1906 from what is now Lambeth North to Baker Street. In those days it was known by the longer title of the Baker Street and Waterloo Railway. It took about 3 months for Bakerloo to catch on as an official name for the line. The Bakerloo line suffered from low passenger numbers in its early days, so its owners were keen to extend it as quickly as possible in order to ensnare more passengers. The main goal was to meet main line railways to take advantage of rail commuters. In August 1906, the line was extended to Elephant and Castle, where it met the South Eastern and Chatham Railway. In March 1906, to Marylebone, the terminus of the Great Central Railway. Because of this, Marylebone Underground Station was known as Great Central until 1917. In 1911, they were authorised to extend to Paddington, the Great Western Railway's terminus, and in 1912 to Queen's Park, a station on the London and North Western Railway. On the 31st of January 1915, the section from Paddington to Kilburn Park was opened, with Warwick Avenue as the only intermediate station. Maida Vale would follow on the 6th of June. The Underground Electric Railways Company of London, who owned the Bakerloo, did consider naming the station Little Warrington Crescent, but Warwick Avenue it was in the end. It's quite discreet as underground stations go. It has no showy surface building, being accessed by a subway. That being said, the ornate railings and glass roofs kind of put me in mind of the Paris Metro, albeit a little more austere and not quite so Art Nouveau. And the tubs of flowers give it a small-scale charm. Actually, it won first prize in the Underground in Bloom competition in 2018. It feels like a quiet sort of station, which, to be honest, it isn't. It sees around 4 million passengers a year. That's not even quiet for the Underground. But it has a calm, suburban feel about it. These days it is looking a little shabby, which is kind of augmented by the fact that the trains currently in service on the Bakerloo line are also a little shabby. I don't mind that. Actually, I quite like it. The station has undergone modernisation over the years. It no longer has its old booking office, although a similar one has been recreated at nearby Edgware Road, if you're curious. It does retain its old checker tiling, which gives it a unique charm. The escalators were installed from the very start, the Underground having begun to use escalators from 1911. There was a fire in 1985 that destroyed the ticket hall, but you wouldn't know it today. Something I'd like to draw your attention to is this map. Look at Embankment and Charing Cross. That suggests that this map dates back to at least the 1970s. Before 1976, those stations were named Charing Cross Embankment and Trafalgar Square, respectively. Well, actually, it's more complicated than that. I did a video on the subject, in fact. Point is, this map is pretty old. Although I note that the Jubilee Line interchange at Waterloo is shown, even though that only opened in 1999. I guess that was easier than rewriting the other station names or something, I don't know. Outside, apart from the subway entrances, the only other visible feature of the station is a rather plain ventilation shaft. Although it does have one of those rather splendid cabmen's shelters, where cabbies can hide from the rain and grab a hot drink and a bite to eat. Maybe there's a video in the subject. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the station's major 21st century claim to fame is that it was the subject of a 2008 single by Duffy, which reached number 3 in the UK charts. Give it a listen if you haven't already. It's got a bit of a 60s feel to it. I like it. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this checkered tale from the tube. If so, the like button yearns for your gentle caress. You might also enjoy subscribing for more content like this. Thanks as ever to my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You are the cab driver to my Duffy music video. And I'll see you all again very soon for another tale from the tube.